Welcome.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Oh,
Now go.
welcome to the Michelle Mission, 2 Men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. My name is Vincent Williams, and I'm joined as always by my partner.
Hey, what's up? This is Len, aka the Bat Triple.
And as we march steadily on towards 300, we are right there. On this episode, we will spend time with 2009's Precious, based on the novel Push by Sapphire.
That is the full title.
That is the full title, with Mariah Carey, Lenny Kravitz, Sherry Shepherd, Paula Patton introducing Gabourey Sidibe, and an Oscar Award-winning performance by Monique. Precious tonight on the Michelle Mission. But before we get into Precious and Push and Sapphire, Len, what's going on? How are you?
I am doing fine, Vincent. How are you doing, my
I
friend?
am also well. Good to hear. Good to hear.
Shout out to everyone who is out there watching and listening to us as we are streaming live via StreamYard to our Facebook group, as well as onto YouTube and Twitter at Michelle Mission. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you, and peace and blessings to all of you out there in the chat. I see you, Sharon Eldridge, Bree 517, Damon Williams.
Hey, it's my brother.
That's your brother. Aaron Fry, everybody out there, Deborah Battle. I see you all, and welcome.
Hey, good evening, folks. Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Okay, so right off the top.
Right off the top?
Let's get it out of the way.
Go get it out the way.
Get it out of the way. From the corrections department.
Oh,
boy, did we hear from quite a few people. But first and foremost, we heard from, I believe it was Troy Thompson. Yes.
The missionaries keep us on our toes.
Kept us all on our toes in regards to last week's 6 Degrees of Derville Martin.
Yes.
He pointed out that, in fact, Julie Newmar, who plays Catwoman famously in the Batman TV series of 1966, did not in fact reprise that role for the feature film of same name of that same year.
That is correct. So the path that I took to get to Adam West was incorrect.
It was invalid.
It was invalid even.
It was.
And that is quite a mistake for me to make, because I know Lee Merriweather is in Batman.
That's right.
66.
Lee Merriweather actually portrayed Catwoman in that film because Julie Newmar could not get out of a contract for a previous engagement.
Scheduling conflict, as they say. And I know that I do, that Lee Merriweather was in the back. I was so excited to talk about Seven Brides for Seven Brothers that I was blinded by the factoid that any nerd worth his salt would have known.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
Do you know how excited I was?
How excited
to use Julie Newmar so that I could talk about Seven Brides for Seven Brothers?
How excited were you, Vincent?
I actually referenced it very quickly. The ridiculous path that you can take to get to Burgess Meredith.
Okay.
Derville Martin is in Dolomite with Rudy Ray Moore.
Right.
So which means I can talk about Dolomite.
Of course.
Rudy Ray Moore is in Penitentiary 2.
Right.
With Mr. T.
That's true.
So now I can talk about Penitentiary 2. Mr. T is, of course, in Rocky 3.
He is in
with
Rocky
Burgess
Meredith.
Burgess Meredith. Which then, of course, gets me to Batman. So I knew I could talk about Dolomite, Penitentiary 2, and Rocky 3. But in my mind, I said, oh, no, I got to figure out how to do Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. So, but yes, thank you, Troy, for pointing that out to us.
Thank you for pointing that out. I will just say that the reason why I did not pick up on that faux pas, and it was a faux pas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Straight up, it was a faux pas on my part.
Lynn has more Batman stuff in here.
Yes.
Like no one knows Batman like Lynn, and that is one of those great Batman factoids.
It is one of those great Batman factoids. But it is one that many people miss out on because, with all due respect, Miss Merriweather is not the strongest part of Batman 66.
No, let's be clear. I don't know nothing about Lee Merriweather. Except she played Catwoman in the movie because Julie Newmar couldn't be in it.
That's one of her.
That's actually the only thing I know about her.
There's not much more to know about Lee Merriweather, to be fair.
Seems like a nice lady.
Yes.
I'm sure her neighbors loved her. She's probably kind to animals. But all I know about that woman was that she was Catwoman in the Batman movie.
She had a pretty decent career on television and in some movies as well.
All right.
But she was missable as
was she in Barnaby Jones? Did I say she was in Barnaby Jones?
I think she may have been in Barnaby Jones. I mean,
I don't remember a lot of Barnaby Jones. Like who
remembers Barnaby Jones?
I mean, he was one of those TV detectives.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure there are some people with fond memories of Barnaby Jones just wasn't mine.
I don't see a lot of Barnaby Jones fans in the missionary crowd.
Look, they called us out about Lee Merriweather and Julie Newmar.
That's because of Batman.
Oh,
there are superhero geeks in the missionaries.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of Barnaby Jones. I think the missionaries go far and wide. It would not surprise me.
Okay.
If someone.
All right. Yes. There's one lone
missionary. Barnaby Jones. What was the hook for Barnaby Jones?
Outskirts of Seattle.
Do you remember what was the hook for what was Barnaby Jones's deal?
His deal was that he was not Jed Clampett. That's the deal.
Yeah, but what was his deal? Like what did Barnaby Jones do? Now we got to talk about.
I don't know. To be honest, I think I watched Barnaby Jones come on, said, "Hey, that's Buddy Epson, formerly known as Jed Clampett of the Beverly Hillbillies." And I didn't give a darn about Barnaby Jones after that. I never watched an episode.
Oh, he was actually a detective. He was actually a retired investigator.
Well, there you go. He was a retired cop.
And Lee Merriweather was his widowed daughter-in-law, and they ran a detective firm.
Okay.
That was their whole deal.
Well, there you go. See, here you go.
Proof. It was on for 8 years.
Well, yes, I did know that it had to run. But here you go. Proof that you are smarter than I. I knew of Barnaby Jones. You knew deep in the recesses of your brain that Lee Merriweather was on Barnaby Jones.
All I know about Lee Merriweather is that she was in the Batman movie.
And now you know.
And that right.
You confirmed.
Well, it's the type of thing where I'm pretty sure I watched Barnaby Jones and the reptilian part of my brain was like, if I watch it enough, Batman to show up. Like those connections that make me do so well in 6 Degrees of Derville Martin. I'm always making them.
See, that's how I felt about watching Leonard Nimoy show up on Columbo.
Exactly.
Because I was like, well, how Columbo gonna beat Spock?
Exactly.
He can't outsmart Spock.
Or that episode of T.J. Hooker where Leonard Nimoy shows up.
I never.
And my brain was going to explode. Like I kept waiting for something.
I don't think I ever saw that one.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't do T.J. Hooker.
Couldn't do T.J. Hooker?
No. I couldn't do J. Hooker. Like once I saw the T.J. Hooker come on,
right,
and William Shatner slid across the car hood.
That's right.
I was like, I'm done.
That was too far. You couldn't buy that.
I'm done.
You couldn't be like he could fight the Gorn 1-on-1. That you could buy.
Yeah, somehow that was
defeat
plausible.
Spock in 1-on-1 combat
in a mock time.
Right when Spock was horny crazy. He could beat horny crazy Spock. I'm sorry, Ponfar, which is Vulcan for horny crazy. But sliding across the hood,
that was a bridge too far.
That was a bridge too far. Got you. Well, we apologize.
We apologize
to the missionaries for leading you astray.
But hey, we were able to give George Cremona a little bit of Spock adjacent. So
there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. Oh, you know what I wanted to mention?
Okay.
It's funny. Last week on the show, we were talking about I think it was last week. We were talking about like R&B singers of today.
Yes.
And I only recently,
okay,
as of after the show,
okay,
I'll be honest, I'm late to the party on this.
Okay.
Discovered another R&B singer of today who I really enjoy.
And that would be
PJ Morton.
Yeah, PJ Morton is nice.
Yeah. He's really nice.
Does he count of as today? Like, he's been making music for like 10 years.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But then 10 years.
That counts as new.
Yeah, that's 2000.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's 2012.
2010, actually. Yeah, 12. Yeah, 12.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You know,
yeah.
like, so there you go.
Yeah, PJ Morton is nice.
He's really nice.
Yeah, PJ Morton is
and he
nice.
does a song with one of my favorite singers, JoJo, which I really do like JoJo, man.
And JoJo, yeah.
I really do like JoJo.
All right.
It's a talented white lady.
Yeah. But PJ Morton.
All right.
Stuff.
Okay.
What else is going on over there? What's happening in Michelle land?
Everybody is going in on Lee Merriweather. Aaron Fry's got an interesting factoid. She was on one episode of Star Trek.
Wait,
where she stole Spock's brain. I remember that episode.
Oh, that's right.
I do remember that episode.
You know who I was about to mix her up with? Isn't that somebody? Isn't the green lady somebody?
Oh no!
What's the actress's name that played Batgirl? Wasn't she
Yvonne Craig?
Wasn't Yvonne Craig on Star Trek?
She wasn't Star Trek. I don't think she was the green lady though. I know who you're talking about. The green lady who shows up like at the ending.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think she's the green lady, but she is in it.
Yeah, I know Yvonne Craig is on an episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Well, there.
Okay. They stole Spock's brain, which many people argue is the worst episode of the first run.
Yeah, I've seen the.
I think the episode where Kirk trades his like the woman takes over Kirk's body, and then Kirk quote unquote acts like a hysterical woman.
Yeah, I think that's the worst.
That's
the worst episode. Yeah, that's a bad one. I mean, well, if you go to the third season,
are you sure that's not Yvonne Craig in the makeup on Star Trek?
I don't believe. Okay,
right. I know. I was hoping somebody would pipe up.
Nobody did. All right, Yvonne Craig,
Star Trek.
Should
give it to you.
Let's see. Oh, she is in green.
I thought that was Yvonne Craig.
Yeah, she is in green. You know what? She's not the green person I was thinking of.
Right. Well, it's Star Trek, so there are several.
I was thinking people. Of like when the show goes off, there's a woman. I think she's in the credits, green, but she has antennae, I believe.
Wait, wouldn't that be? Wait, you're thinking about an Andorian?
No, it wasn't. Andorians aren't they're blue.
Right, they're blue. I think that's an Andorian at the end of the episodes.
Okay. Well, Yvonne Craig, yes, is.
Yeah, I thought that was Yvonne Craig.
Yeah. All right, you're right. That's a good looking woman.
She was in green on Star Trek.
Okay. The green woman that I'm thinking of was Susan Oliver. Aaron Fry, who was up on his Star Trek wiki. It just filled me in.
Okay.
So we're done.
We are
with Spock and Jason.
We are done with Spock and Jason.
We are moving on.
Ladies
and gentlemen,
to the next topic.
Which is listener mail.
Missives from missionaries.
We don't have any voicemails, but we do have an email from Ellis Heron.
Hey, what's up, Ellis?
Comedians in action is the subject line. Hey, fellas. That was a good review of Beverly Hills Cop.
Thank you, sir.
It was definitely a movie that changed the game. I was with you on the subject of comedians not leading an action movie before this one until I considered a debatable movie that came out the year before, Superman 3. To this day, many people would argue that Superman 3 was Richard Pryor's movie and Christopher Reeve was just along for the ride. The only thing is, like Pryor's ski stunt in the movie, he couldn't gracefully stick the landing. Also, The Superman movies were already an established franchise by that point, so it wasn't much of a risk to put Pryor in the movie. Unlike with Beverly Hills Cop, there was more of a risk with Eddie since he had never led a movie solo before, let alone one that was an experiment in its own right. Still, I figured I'd mention Richard Pryor's unsuccessful attempt at an action movie in 1983, and then Eddie one-upping him the following year. Keep up the good works, your boy Ellis Heron. P.S. Much credit to Vince for how great he is at 6 Degrees of Derville Martin. I still don't know how he does it, especially when I have a hard time doing 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. But ask me what year a movie came out from 1980 until now, and I've got you.
There you go. There you go. It's part of my useless talent, mutant power.
There you go. I don't know whether or not, first of all, I argue that Superman 3 is an action movie. I argue that it's a movie.
Okay.
But while it has been forever since I've seen that movie, I don't know whether or not you can say that that was Richard Pryor's movie and Superman was in it. But I also can't say that it was Richard Pryor starring in an action movie.
Sure.
You know,
it's a weird movie. Like I don't, and I'm not up on my Superman movie lore like that, but I don't know what happened between 2 and 3. Like I know Richard Donner wasn't involved.
Richard Donner wasn't there.
Right. But did Richard Donner write the script for 1 and 2?
I think he had a hand in the script.
Right. Okay.
Yes, he did have a hand in the script.
Because Superman 3 is just like,
it's ridiculous.
Like it's like people hadn't seen the movies before, or
also you got to remember,
didn't trust them. Because I do think Richard Pryor, I think the plan, or it looks like the plan, was for Richard Pryor to carry it.
I don't know about carrying it.
I mean, he's the pop in it. Like
well, I think that
like Superman is almost a supporting character.
I think the plan, I don't know about carrying it, but maybe to be on as much equal footing as Superman as he could be, co-star in it. But what you got to also remember is that Superman 1 and 2 were both written and filmed for the most part at the same time. And then, through them mucking it around, they got the 2 films out.
That's a good point.
So by that time, by the 83, when Superman 3 comes out, or 80, let's say 82, when they start to do it, 81, 82, the powers that be and all the people involved with the first 2 Superman, they've already moved on. A lot of them moved with Richard Donner, who definitely wasn't returning, and other people are on to other things, So you don't really have the same hands involved.
Yeah.
With Superman 3. And unfortunately it shows.
Yeah. But it is a curio when you think about Richard Pryor in it.
Well, if Richard Pryor, so let's take your argument that Richard Pryor maybe leads the film, even though his name probably is a little bit over the credits.
Right. I mean, it might be equal to Christopher Reeves.
Does this make it a black movie, or a movie that might fall under our purview?
I would have to watch it again, but I'm not going to say no.
Okay.
Like off the top of my head, I'm not going to say no. Because I do recall it being a case where somehow they took all the chips from all of the ingredients of Superman and kind of stuck them. Like, is Gene Hackman in 3? Like, I know that's the one with the nuclear man.
I don't think so, because I think they had to pay like a king's ransom to bring him back for like a cameo almost in 4.
I always forget there was a Superman 4. 4 is the one with the nuclear man.
Yeah.
So is 3 just Pryor?
Yep. Pryor's really the
oh my God.
Added
you know
element.
What? I had forgotten that there were 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting all of the garbage in that one movie. But 4 is the one where he gets in the fight with the truck driver at the diner, right?
Is that 4? I think so. It's been so long.
Oh my goodness. I'm realizing I don't even really remember what's in 3, except for Richard Pryor as the computer genius.
Yeah, that's what I remember. The biggest thing I remember.
All right, well, let's move.
Yes,
this is very interesting to me and you, but to no one else.
No, Ellis is having a good time.
Right, Ellis is
having fun.
Right.
All right. Let's get into the game show that's sweeping the nation, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, because 4 is the quest for peace.
Yes.
It's Superman 4, the quest for peace.
You know, you're not going to let this go. All right, here we go.
No. We can. I completely forgot there were 2 separate movies.
I know you're not going to let it go. You're not. Let's see. Superman 3, which is the movie with Richard Pryor. Okay.
Right.
All right. So I'm just going to
bring right, because Lana Lang is in 4.
No, Lana Lang is in 3. Annette O'Toole as Lana Lang. She's in 3.
Is she in 4?
She's probably in 4 too, but she's in 3. So she first shows up really in 3.
You are blown. Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's go. All right. So Superman 3.
Right. Superman 3 is him and Richard Pryor. Computer programmer Gus Gorman is hired by financial tycoon Ross Webster, played by Robert Vaughn, to seize control of a weather satellite. I knew it had something to do with a satellite.
Always some weather with Superman. They're quietly the strangest films.
Well, this is in the days where there's always like a mad scientist.
Yeah.
Remember that? That's what
like Lex Luthor's whole real estate scheme from the first one is the most Byzantine crazy plan.
It is a dumb plan. Superman 4 with the aforementioned nuclear man.
Right. The Quest for Peace.
The Quest for Peace, played by Mark Pillow. Seeing the United States and the Soviet Union engaged in a nuclear arms race that could lead to Earth's destruction, Superman decides that it must take action and collects all the nuclear warheads from the world and throws them into space.
Hippie nonsense.
Meanwhile, Lex Luthor clones Superman with radioactive material to create Nuclear Man, a being just as powerful as the Man of Steel.
Right.
There you go.
So Gene Hackman is a character in 4.
He is in 4.
Yeah.
He's in 4, but I don't think he's like really in. He's now, there, but he's not.
Now, last thing, Annette O'Toole is in 3 and 4.
Annette O'Toole shows up in 3 as Lana Lang.
Mm-hmm.
She is not among the cast of episode 4.
Is Margot Kidder back?
Margot Kidder is in both, but I have a funny feeling that I think Margot Kidder does pretty much a cameo
in 3. I think she does.
And Annette O'Toole is
right. Is the love interest, right?
And then she and Gene Hackman return
for 4.
Ooh.
Boy, these kids don't know how good they have it. These kids don't know how good. We were so hungry.
That's true.
For superhero.
That's true.
Because these were some terrible movies. I cannot believe Thor is about to have 3 movies. These kids just do not know.
3. Thor is on his 4th movie.
Thor is on his 4th movie.
Right. Now, here's the thing. These kids don't know how good they have it because we had Superman 3 and 4.
Yes.
1 and 2 were great.
Yes.
But in betweenst there, we didn't have anything in the movies, but we had Captain America on TV.
Oh, no.
We had Spider-Man, one-handed Spider-Man.
Oh.
Remember one-handed Spider-Man?
These kids have no idea.
Swinging through the streets of Burbank. Long Island.
You know what? I remember sitting in my friend's apartment when Batman the Animated Series came on.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were in college, and it's Monica.
Okay,
yeah, Monica, Camille's godmother. And I sat in her living room, and I made her and her roommate watch Batman the Animated Series with me when it came. and I almost started crying. It was so good. Like, I couldn't believe this was happening. Like, I couldn't believe that I had lived long enough to see Batman the Animated Series.
I remember when Batman the Animated Series premiered, I was hanging with my friends, a bunch of my boys. I think we were playing ball. And I was like, yo, Batman the Animated Series about to come on tonight. He was like, all right, we got to go. Who lives closest? We found, I forget which one of us, we went to their house, piled into their house, took over his TV. Like, people were coming into his living room like, hey, like, shh, Batman's on. I had to watch it.
These kids have no idea.
I do not know.
They have no idea. But okay, go ahead. We've cleared the board.
We've cleared the board.
We've cleared the board. We've gotten full understanding of the 4 Superman films.
Yes. All right.
All right.
So now
it's time.
Now we can play.
Yes, Sweeping the Nation.
Derville Martin.
It was Lee Merriweather, not Julie Newmar.
That's the key. Why, you would be surprised what a person can do with just a sense of touch and a sense of sound.
6 Degrees of Derville Martin.
All right.
Vincent will attempt to get from the star of every one of your favorite blaxploitation films.
Absolutely.
Derville Martin in 6 movies or less.
6 movies or less.
To a Hollywood superstar that I selected. Vincent, are you ready to play?
I am ready. It was Lee Merriweather in Batman, not Julie Newmar.
It was not Julie Newmar.
Yes.
Okay. So, in 6 movies or less.
6 movies or less.
I had to go deep for you. I went to the world of superheroes.
Yes, last week.
Yes. But I went biblical
biblical
for this first one.
Okay, biblical for the first one.
And I went all the way. If you're going to go biblical, I didn't half-ass it. I went all the way to the top.
All right.
So I went to the voice of God himself.
The voice of God himself, played by.
So in 6 movies or less, 6 from Derville Martin.
Derville Martin, too.
George Burns.
George Burns.
Yes.
Interesting.
The star of
Oh God. And Oh God, too. Yeah.
And yes, Oh God, book 2.
Oh my goodness gracious, George Burns.
Why don't I think there was an Oh God 3? There was. Oh God, You Devil.
Right, because he played both roles, which doesn't help me at all because they're both played by George Burns.
It probably doesn't help you because you probably never saw it.
No, I actually did. I actually enjoyed the Oh God movies. I'm trying to think, do I remember anything
else
that George Burns was in?
He he had of course, most of his films were back in his comedic heyday in the 30s.
Yeah, he and Gracie.
But he starred in more than a few films after in the 70s.
All right.
To the 80s.
All right. I'm gonna have to pull some things from you, I think, and ask a couple of questions.
All right, ask some questions.
George Burns.
Yes.
Was he in one of the Muppet movies?
George Burns was no, he was not in one of the Muppet movies.
Really?
You would have thought that he would have been. That would have been a good call, but he wasn't. He probably was on their show.
He was probably on the show. George Burns. Yeah, because I can't get out of the Oh God movies.
But do you know who he co-starred?
And I was about to say, and I forget who's in the Oh God movies with him.
Well, the first movie is
who's in the first one with him?
The co-star is John Denver. Do you remember John Denver?
I know John Denver.
Blonde with the glasses.
The problem with John Denver is always get him mixed up with
Glenn Campbell.
No, not Glenn Campbell. I forget I don't want to call him the little guy, but he is the little guy.
Oh, Paul Williams.
Paul Williams. I always mix him up with Paul Williams.
the singer, voice of the Penguin.
Was John Denver in a Muppet movie?
That's a good question.
Like, it seems like John Denver would have been in a Muppet movie.
You would think, right? Let's see.
Because he was definitely on the show a lot.
Let's see. Let's go to Oh God and go to John Denver. Wow. It's funny that John Denver, I know him mostly from movies, but he was a singer.
Yeah, oh yeah.
John Denver was not in a Muppet movie.
John Denver was not in the Muppet movie.
Like he seems like he was made, like he looks like a Muppet, but no,
George Burns is really hard.
There is one actor who he acted with in 2 years before Oh God in a movie that if you knew the movie, do you know the movie The Sunshine Boys?
I don't.
About an old vaudeville act that comes back to do there.
No, let's who's in Oh God Book 2? Is that John Denver again?
All right. John, let's see. George Burns, Suzanne Flechette, David Burney, and Luann Serrata.
Suzanne Flechette.
Mm-hmm.
Is she in Cannonball Run 2?
No, you're thinking about Adrienne Barbeau.
I'm thinking about Adrienne Barbeau. How are all of these 70s stalwarts just sort of orbiting around?
Well, Suzanne Flechette didn't do a lot of movies in the 70s.
She was a TV.
She was
a TV.
She was the wife of Bob Newhart.
Yes. Oh, you may have stumped me.
Have I stumped
George?
I'm trying to think of how I would.
All right, wait a second.
Well, I know what movie.
I'm because I'm gonna try and say try and stay a little honest since I'm asking, and I know George Burns from the Oh God movies.
Okay.
Who else is in Oh God Book 2 besides Suzanne Flechette?
In Oh God Book 2, you've got Suzanne Flechette, David Burney. He was mostly a TV guy. Luann Serrata. It's not going to help you. Joyce Brothers, Dr. Joyce Brothers, and Hugh Downs, the TV guy. Now let's go to Oh God, You Devil. Oh God, You Devil. He stars with Ted Wass, Ron Silver. It's a good actor name, and Roxanne Hart.
Ron Silver. I'm trying to see his face.
Ron Silver, a long career. You see his face, you'll know him automatically. I don't know if it helped you, but you got his face. It's not helping you.
No, I know Ron Silver.
Yeah, like you know him, but you still.
All right, I'm cheating a little bit because
Farrell Blackwell.
No. I looked up Ron Silver and something popped up, and I saw he was he's in Blue Steel with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay,
so that's Derville Martin is in.
I don't even know. I'm trying to think.
Is Derville Martin in the Mac?
I don't think he's in the Mac.
Okay, fine. I don't need the Mac. Derville Martin is in. Is in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Guess with Sidney Poitier. Sidney Poitier is in Uptown Saturday Night with Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor is in Harlem Nights with Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy is in Trading Places with Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis is in Blue Steel with Ron Silver, who's in Oh God, You Devil with George Burns.
I think you got it.
On 6. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I'm right on 6. I'm right on 6.
You're right on 6.
Because George Burns.
It was a deep cut.
That's a well, it's not even a deep cut. What is he in besides the Oh God movies?
Well, the movie I was thinking of from 1975 is The Sunshine Boys, where he stars with Walter Matthau.
I've never even heard of this.
I've
never heard of this film. It sounds good.
Yeah,
because I like Walter Matthau.
Fun movie.
What else is he in?
Well, he was in that. He was also in
because after his wife died.
She died.
Yeah, well, that's my point. Like he wasn't like, did he do movies?
Well, he actually is in Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band. He is in Going in Style, which is actually a very cool movie with him, Lee Strasberg, and Art Carney. That's actually a good movie. He's in 18 Again.
He was in 18 Again
with Charlie Schlatter.
I actually like 18 Again.
And his last film appearance was in 1994's Radioland Murders.
Oh, wait, is that Woody Allen?
No, you're thinking Radio.
I'm thinking of Radio Days.
Yeah.
So yeah, George Burns is I can't. Yeah. I was real sloppy and I can't do nothing with George Burns.
well, you made it work.
Yeah, I can't do nothing with George Burns. All right, what you got?
I got one more.
Ooh, that George Burns. That was a rough one.
This one might be easier for you.
I mean, my goodness, I hope it is.
Now, this is I didn't go biblical on this one.
Okay.
I stayed in the world of superheroes for this one.
Okay, back to superheroes.
So get from Derville Martin.
6
movies or less.
6 movies or less.
To Gal Gadot.
I mean, can I use the Wonder Woman movies?
I mean, yeah.
And Justice League?
That's fair.
Okay. Because I don't know what else she's done.
She's done other things.
Oh. Because then she don't want them Death by the Nile.
She's in the Death by the Nile.
Death by the Nile.
That's there now.
The new one.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go.
Do you know anybody else in the movie?
Yeah. No. Well, I do actually.
Did you watch that movie?
No, not. I just saw the commercials and I said, "Oh, that's interesting." The person I'm about to say, oh yeah, get that money, because Derville Martin is in 5 on the Black Hand Side with Dick Anthony Williams, who's in Mo Better Blues with Samuel Jackson, who is in, I'll just go with Endgame with Letitia Wright.
Okay.
Who's in Death on the Nile.
Oh, that's a good one. I forgot about Letitia.
Gal Gadot.
Because in my mind, I was like, okay, he can't go to the Marvel movies because of Samuel Jackson, but I forgot about Letitia Wright.
Yeah. Because I saw her and I said, oh, yeah, get that money, sister.
Yeah.
It's somebody else black in there, too, isn't it? There's a couple of black people in Death. Yeah, there's 1 or 2 black people in there. Is at least one more black person in it.
Well, yes, there is, because it plays Letitia Wright's I think aunt or something like that in the movie. It's not that great of a movie. I wanted it to be a lot better.
Yeah.
Because I love a period drama, but it's not that great. Very
I also could have gone to Wonder Woman with Chris Pine. Gotten to Chris Pine. Because Chris Pine is in Star Trek with
Zoe
Saldana. Zoe Saldana. Oh, let's say hi to Omar. Zoe Saldana is in Drumline with Omar.
That's right.
Dorsey. Omar Dorsey is in Django Unchained with Samuel Jackson, who's in Mo Better Blues with Dick Anthony Williams, who's in 5 on the Black Hand Side with Derville Martin.
Look at you. I can see you feeling yourself a little bit
backwards. And I said hi to Omar. Hey, Omar.
Hey, Omar.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
All right.
Very good, Vincent.
But George Burns
was almost got you.
Yeah. It's Lee Merriweather in Batman, not Julie Newmar.
It is not. We're going to get to our review now of Precious, and I think it's very interesting that there seems to be a resounding refrain in regards to this film, and I want to go to Juan Blaylock.
Hey, Juan.
longtime missionary.
Yeah.
Who pointed out that Precious is one of those movies I knew from the jump I would never watch.
Okay.
I still haven't seen it and have zero plans, but I look forward to hearing y'all's review. To which then a lot of people in the chat responded about how they only have seen the movie, but only once. As a matter of fact, Nadira Crump says once and done. A classmate of hers had a major role that said, I don't subject myself to trauma needlessly. So for colored girls, etc., I passed on for mental health reasons.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be a resounding refrain with people in regards to Precious.
Absolutely.
Only wanted to watch this movie one time and one time only.
Absolutely. I guess maybe we should talk about it.
We should, but I was curious.
Okay,
though,
all right.
Before we go there,
talk about it,
was it? I was curious because I don't want to necessarily do this in the body of the review.
Okay.
Is there any other film that you can think of that, and there's probably more than one, but is there any other film that you can think of for you that you watched and you recognize this was a good movie or it was whatever?
Sure, but I'm never watching this again.
I've never seen to see it again.
I'm sure there is, like you said, now that you're kind of pressing me, I can't think of one because Precious was one of mine.
Really?
This is my second time watching it.
Okay.
This is my second time watching.
And what's the first time when it first came out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Trying to think of a good example of something I saw and I said, okay, well, I never need to watch that again.
Well, I have
for these reasons.
Well, I have two.
Okay, what are yours?
And one is for a very personal reason.
Okay.
And that's Big Fish. And I and I don't rewatch Big Fish. I think I may have shared it on the show in the past because I acknowledge it is a very good film.
It is.
And it is very touching. But it deals with a son dealing with his father and his passing of his father. And I saw that film right in the midst of losing my father.
Oh,
so that just hits me hard. Like I watched the film, I blubbered like a baby watching the film. I bought the movie, have never cracked it open, will never crack it open, but I like knowing that I have it.
Okay.
I know what it means to me. The other movie is 12 Years a Slave.
Okay.
Except for this,
right?
Because I don't think we've formally reviewed
we have not,
it yet.
because I've never seen it.
Yeah. I don't have any other plans outside of For the Mission to watch that film ever again.
Sure.
And it was good.
I mean, yeah, and well, we will probably name check that in the review itself because I think it is a film that would probably be part of our conversation as we get to ultimately what we get to when we do this.
Yeah.
Would we recommend this film?
Right.
So,
yeah. Still haven't come out with one?
I haven't.
I mean, it's fine if you haven't.
I haven't. You know, I will say this. One of my favorite comedies of all time has been Raising Arizona.
Okay.
The Coen brothers film.
Okay.
But there was a period for about 5-6 years after my daughter was born where I didn't watch it because I didn't think that was funny.
Okay.
Like the plot of Raising Arizona, they kidnap a baby.
Yeah.
And that just wasn't funny to me because I just had it like, I don't understand. And then when, Camille was 5, then I could watch it again. And then we had my son. And then I went through a like I'm just getting to the point
where you can return to
where I think I might be able to circle back to Raising Arizona.
I got you.
But
Sharon Eldridge points out that Moulin Rouge I can only watch once. It wrecked me at the time. Saw it in a full theater, so all the feels were all over.
Okay. That's a good one.
That's a good one. Calvin Austin actually has a very good one.
Okay.
Passion of the Christ. Did you ever see Passion of the Christ?
I did. It was just very, well, we should probably talk about it. Like it was very just sort of trauma porny to me. Like it didn't affect me. I was just like, I didn't really understand the point.
Yeah.
So, but I know people feel that way about it.
Most definitely. Farrell Blackwell says Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think I could watch it again, but I don't know if I I'm watching it on Saturday night with some Doritos.
Yeah, me neither.
Schindler's List, of course.
Oh, that's right.
That's tough.
Schindler's List? I've never watched. I've never seen it.
Good movie.
Never seen it.
It's no reason to.
Thank you, Farrell Blackwell. He points out that it was Sophie Okonedo who played.
Yeah.
And she's actually very good in that. Rebrief 517 points out Hotel Rwanda. I've never seen that movie. I've never seen it.
It is excellent,
and
I never need to watch it again until we watch it for this.
Yeah, and that'll be when I had the
Hotel
DVD.
Rwanda is tough.
Yeah, that's it for me. Your brother Damon, Mystic River. I've seen more than once, but I can understand not watching, only seeing that once.
Yeah.
I could definitely get behind that. And Aaron Fry also points out it's Mississippi Burning.
Yeah, Mississippi Burning it makes me more angry than upset because of the way it centers the white investigators.
Yeah.
But
I feel you on that one. Okay.
All right.
All
movies that we never want to watch. There's a podcast for you. There's a podcast for you right there, like one and done. Like you just like the whole podcast is you just watch these emotionally wrenching films. Say I'm going to watch it one time. We're going to talk about, and then I don't know how long you could sustain a podcast like that. No. And it's like maybe 10 movies you could do, and then after the third movie, you don't want to do it anymore.
Just be done. Just be done. Have one fan left,
and then a special series. We'll be talking about When They See Us.
Oh God!
We'll alternate between When They See Us and the Emmett Till miniseries. We'll just go back and forth.
Oh my God!
For about 10 weeks.
Oh God! Oh God! No. Oh, When They See Us. Oh
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't. Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. Farrah Blackwell's right. You need a lot of therapy to do a podcast like that.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Break it up with episodes of Barnaby Jones.
And with that full circle, let's get into our review of Precious. But first, it's time for trailer talk. Miss Makiba points out that Nope for both, as far as those movies, which got me to, and thank you for that, but what made me think of the movie Nope, which is going to be coming out. The new Jordan Peele movie, which I watched, and I tried not to watch trailers more than once, but I watched the trailer again just the other day, and thankfully it's a trailer that doesn't give a lot away,
right? And his trailers never do,
right?
Yeah,
but man, it looks creepy as hell.
Look, man,
I am looking forward to that.
Look, I'm hoping that it's him dealing with aliens.
Hope that's what, like, he's not, because
I hope this is his alien.
Seems like it is.
Like quietly, that's my, like, I have a real weird little sadomasochistic kink. Like, I like scary alien movies.
Really?
Which there aren't a whole lot of them.
No.
Like Fire in the Sky, like the last 10 minutes of Fire in the Sky. Signs, which scares the shit out of me.
Really?
Oh my God. Signs is horrifying.
Not still.
I mean, until the last couple of, like, when the alien, but I think the setup.
Really?
Oh, I think
I mean, it's suspenseful, but it didn't scare me.
I think tonally, it is his best movie. I think he sustains.
You think Signs is M. Night Shyamalan's best
when you
movie?
talk about M. Night Shyamalan and how he maintains a tone of suspense, I think it's better than I just forget his first joint.
Oh, the movie that made him.
The first joint.
Oh God, what is it? I just blanked. I'm saying, and then I'm about to say
somebody has written it down.
Scent of a Woman.
It's not Scent of a Woman.
I know it's not Scent of a Woman.
It's not Scent of a
I
Woman.
thought it was, I know
That is scary for a different reason.
no, it's not Scent of a Woman.
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
I know it was
Yeah.
I know it was
I think Sixth Sense is a better movie. Let's be clear. And I think Sixth Sense ages better. And I think Sixth Sense is a better movie to view again. But that first hour or so of Signs, I can barely breathe.
I don't think Sixth Sense is a movie that succeeds on repeat viewing, because once you know what Bruce Willis is, it kind of takes you out of the movie a little bit.
I think it's still a really good movie.
No, it's a good movie.
Even though he cheats a little bit.
Well, he doesn't.
Yeah, there's a moment where Bruce Willis is talking to his wife, and she's clearly listening to him.
See, now I gotta see it.
Yeah, there's a moment where he's on the bench talking to his wife, and she's clear. And then when they show the footage at the end, it's a little different,
right?
But yeah, I think Signs is amazing.
Signs was good.
So Signs is a scary alien movie. So I want another scary alien movie.
Mr. Makiba asks, "Ooh, speaking of aliens, have you all started The Man Who Fell to Earth?"
Not yet. Not yet. I'm waiting, and we're gonna sit and watch it. And I'm so looking forward to that.
I actually have a free Friday this week because I'm not recording. My lady's going to be out of town, and I was thinking of what am I going to do on a Friday? I usually have something like business I have to do on Friday. So now I think you have set my Friday agenda.
Look, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Naomi Harris.
It looks good.
It's been getting nothing but great reviews.
It looks very, very good. So I am going to watch. Is that on Showtime?
Yeah, it's on Showtime.
Yeah. So I do think I'm going to watch that, and I will, as I promised Vincent, finish Severance.
Yeah,
this Friday.
Yeah, finish Severance. So you've watched all the episodes except the last one?
No. I've got a few.
I was about to say, because there's no way you got to the next to last one and then said, oh well, I'll get to it when I get to it.
I've got probably a good 5 or 6.
Because the cliffhangers on Severance.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
So that'll be my Friday.
All right.
That's my Friday.
That's a good Friday.
Maybe I'll buy myself a pizza.
All right.
I gotta watch my blood pressure.
I was about to say, maybe you have some salmon and a nice salad.
I'll have salmon and a nice salad.
Okay, there you go.
What can I eat with the salmon though? Because I've learned that you can't eat a lot of like starches and
some
rice.
Brown rice.
Some brown rice.
Some brown rice.
Is that going to be low on the sodium? I gotta watch my sodium.
Depending on how you season it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I gotta be very particular.
Some brown rice.
It's just very depressing, my diet lately.
Hey man, you know what else is depressing? Funerals. I'm just saying.
Point noted.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Speaking of depressing, you ready? You ready? It's a sad ass movie.
Oh, Miss Makiba, God bless you.
At one point in my notes, it actually says, "Dear Jesus, it's still 40 minutes left."
Miss Makiba, God bless you, says recommending grilled veggies.
There you go. Grill some vegetables.
Yeah, grill some asparagus.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm the only one in my house that likes asparagus.
Really?
I know. I love asparagus.
I like asparagus.
So
It's got to be cooked right, though.
I mean, you know, yes.
It's got to be cooked right.
I have a little snap to it.
I'm sorry. Last tangent.
Okay.
There was this barbecue show on Netflix, the Great
Okay.
American Barbecue.
Okay.
Like that. Now all these people competing with barbecue.
Yes.
And there's this big burly black guy.
Okay.
On there.
Is his name Earl?
His name is not Earl.
Cleavon.
I mean, it's mad muscular. He's got a mohawk, and he's
Right,
talking all this smack because he's gonna make his beer chicken on the joint and everything.
Okay.
And I'm gonna grill up some asparagus. And that asparagus was so limp.
Oh,
Like the judge The judge walks over. The lady walks over. She picks up the asparagus and she's like, "What's this?"
Oh, and it's all whipping.
It's like whipping in her hand.
Too bad.
And the camera holds on it for like feels like 5 minutes. A dude is just sitting there like
he's just dejected.
And plus she said it tastes smoky. You saw his sauce smoked out.
Smoky.
I felt because he had a big personality. I was like, oh, he might be fun on this show. He was gone the first show.
Oh, well,
first episode.
Messed up the asparagus.
The asparagus.
Have some asparagus.
I'll grill up some asparagus.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Oh, good. You get to talk about it.
I do.
Say nothing. Let me get Gal Gadot out of there. Let me get that out of there. Okay. Let me get to my notes real quick. Oops, that's not it. Shit. Where are my notes? Oh, fuck. I lost my notes. Where are my notes? Oh, there you go. All right.
Right.
And
Precious from 2009. Pregnant by her own father for the second time, 16-year-old Clarice Precious Jones can neither read nor write and suffers constant abuse at the hands of her vicious mother. Precious instinctively sees a chance to turn her life around when she is offered the opportunity to transfer to an alternative school. Under the patient, firm guidance of her new teacher, Ms. Rain, Precious begins the journey from oppression to self-determination. Precious, directed by Lee Daniels with a screenplay by Jeffrey Fletcher based on the 1996 novel Push by Sapphire. Stars Lenny Kravitz, Sherry Shepherd, Mariah Carey, Paula Patton. Introducing Gabourey Sidibe as the title character, and with a harrowing, disturbing, gut-wrenching, Oscar-winning performance by Monique. Here on the 298th episode of the Show Mission, Precious was brought to us by Lynn Webb. Lynn, what do you have to say about Precious?
I actually wrote down, I usually write down like a couple of notes from a film. And then I come and me and you, we talk it out. One other time. That's our shtick. One other time on the mission, I can't remember, it was long ago, I decided to actually write out exactly what I wanted to say. Just as trying to be more prepared, and also was trying to show that I could be half as smart as you. I quickly did away with that and said, he's smarter than me. Fuck it. And I just have continued on. Watching Precious, I told myself, I want to write out exactly what I want to say.
Okay.
Because I want to make sure that I get my thoughts across very clear and concisely. And I kind of have notes. I've got a lot of notes right here. I can see about exactly what I was going to say.
Those listening to the podcast, Lynn held up his notes.
I held up my notes for the camera. But I'm doing away with that.
Okay.
And I'm deciding that I want to start just straight off the cuff and say that I thought that I had seen this movie before. I realized that I only saw maybe the beginnings of this movie in years past. Didn't see it when it came out in theaters initially. Probably saw it someplace on cable over the years after, then a couple of years later. And watched the beginning. Remember hearing, like, this is, oh my God, it's so traumatic, it's so intense, and not being in the frame of mind of that at that moment for something like that. Said I'll watch this later, and never returned to the movie.
Right.
So this was my first real time sitting down watching this movie from beginning to end.
Okay.
And I agree. This is an intense film. I agree that this is a film that is to borrow from the script, unrelenting in the trials that it puts upon the lead character Precious, who is beautifully portrayed by Gabourey Sidibe. And it should be noted that she was nominated for an Academy Award. She didn't win, but she also was nominated for Academy Award. I gotta say, I absolutely love this movie. It's weird to say that I enjoyed watching this film, yet I felt emotions watching this movie that I have not felt in a long time watching the film, probably since the first time that I saw Pariah.
Okay.
And you know how much I love Pariah.
Mm-hmm.
There is such authenticity in this movie, I feel, in the depiction of what this young woman goes through. First of all, I feel the realness in the depiction of her world. Precious is a 16-year-old who is overweight. I don't think it would be unfair to say, disarmingly overweight, unhealthily so, at least in appearance. And who is mired in sorrow and sadness and loneliness. She is, you learn through the course early on in the film that she is illiterate, and not just functionally so. She is illiterate, cannot read. But you learn that she is the whipping post of her mother, Monique, the character that Monique's play. And you learn why later on in the film. You mentioned how off the top you learn about her at the when you're introduced to her, she's pregnant with her second child from her father. And she's a woman, she's a young girl who, even in the midst of sitting in her classroom, in the midst of sitting alone in her room, tries to escape into a fantasy world that she creates for herself. You see her, having fantasies of her math teacher, falling in love with her. You see her having fantasies of having a light-skinned boyfriend. You see her having fantasies of being the star of this film, or the most popular girl in school or around the town. There's even a scene where you see her getting ready for school, and as she looks in the mirror, she sees herself as a young white girl,
right?
Getting herself together to go to school. But as much as she tries to escape into this fantasy world, she's brought back into the starkness and darkness of her reality by her mother's tone, shouts and fists and throwing things at her, dismissing her, the dismissiveness of her being, of her agency, of everything, just total disregard for her daughter. She's brought back to reality by by the taunts from people in her neighborhood, from the sneers from the people in her classroom. And she's also brought back to reality by her own, understanding of her of her own I don't want to call them faults. I'm fumbling on the word. Her own inadequacies. Like, she realizes that she can't read, and she realizes that she is not as literate as she wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it even with that, she's still, whenever there is an opportunity presented to her, she sometimes begrudgingly, but she puts her hand out and she sees what's going on. She wants to find a way to be better. She doesn't want to believe that her mother, who tells her that she is nothing, that she is stupid, that she is fat, she is dumb, she is worthless, no one will love you, no one will give a fuck about you. She wants to prove her wrong, but she realizes that she needs the ammunition to prove her wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And while this movie presents people giving her that opportunity, I think also this movie smartly does show that despite them opening up cracks of doors for her to walk through, it is still Precious making the move, taking those steps on her own to move through those doors and to better herself from her situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that in every facet of the way, and I'm not even that big of a fan of Lee Daniels, but I think Lee Daniels has directed a masterpiece in this film. I thought that all of the shot selections and were spot on. This film felt I can't say it anymore. It felt real. I felt like I was of this world. I felt I was in this moment. I felt for her pain. I felt the moments of joy that she has when she leaves, starts to begin her journey of learning how to read and how to write. She finds her tribe, as it were, in this school, in this classroom of young women, all of them with their own separate challenges. You know how you always talk about, like, I could just watch a movie of this. I could watch a movie of that classroom with all of those young girls forever.
Yeah,
I could watch it forever. And watching Precious find her tribe in that room, and even then begrudgingly, it doesn't happen overnight. Each of these young girls have to feel each other out, and it's done so tactfully, so smartly in this movie, that it then leads to a moment where she is everyone's talking about, the teacher, Miss Rain, played by Paula Patton.
That's right.
In probably the best role I've ever seen Paula Patton pull off.
Look,
she asks everyone to, talk about why you're here, things that you do best, the series of questions, and it gets to Precious, and she doesn't know what she does best, because her whole life her mother told her that she couldn't do shit. But, ultimately she says, I feel here. And because she felt this was ultimately a place for her. This was a safe space.
Right.
Which she did not have any place in her whole world. And the way that scene is done, the way that it is performed, everything about that scene. Shit, it's fucking me up right now. I bawled like a baby when I watched that scene because I've been there. I've been in those moments, man, where you just don't feel like something is off in every place. For her, it was that classroom. For me, it was when I got to the drama club in Martin Luther King High School. And when those moments happen, man, you feel it, and you never want to leave it.
Right.
And that is your happy space. And that continues to be her happy space. And it is from that building block that she starts taking control of her life in this movie. And yes, are the sins of everything that's been done to her, do they play out throughout this film? Yes. And does it seem like it is unrelenting? Sure. But what you have to understand that is for each knock that comes and all the way to the end of the movie, like you think you're at a happy point near the movie, and yet then it drops another bomb on you.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, all of a sudden some test results come and then it drops another bomb on you, and you're like, what now?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
But what you have to understand, what you got to realize is that these is all of that crap from the past. This is 16 years of shit that is trying to pull her back. But with everything that comes, she is more and more equipped to deal with it as a functional adult, so that when you do get that last bit of bad news at the end, she's ready for it. Yeah, it's sets her back for a minute, but she has been prepared for this. And does she need a little bit of a push from her friends, from her tribe, from her teacher? Yeah, but she's equipped for it, and she handles it beautifully and masterfully, and she takes full agency of her life in that moment. And for the rest of the movie, all the way until the end, when she walks out with her 2 children and just has one of the most beautiful smiles on her face. She's still very much, a bit of a more alone on her own, but she has control and she has the weapons to take to succeed in her life. And now her life really has begun. And I think it's a beautiful moment. I think that it ultimately is a beautiful capper to a film that is intense. It is strong. It is powerful, but it is a film that I believe, like, people who only want to watch this film once, I understand. I'll watch this movie again. And I will enjoy it. And I will try to introduce it to people who have only watched it once and only remember it for that, the intensity of it, to try and watch it with fresher eyes, to try and watch it from a different standpoint, because I think this was a masterful film. I enjoyed the hell out of this movie.
I think I agree with pretty much everything you said. Pretty much. I think this is a film of best. I'll just start with what you said. This is the best thing I've ever seen Paula Patton in. This is the best film that I think Lee Daniels has ever directed. This is an amazing debut by Gabourey Sidibe. And I'm so happy that since this point, she has continued to act.
Yes. Because
I have to say, very cynically, this seemed like a case of, I won't say stunt casting, but she was so specifically this character.
Yeah.
I doubted that she would continue to work.
Right.
And she has.
Right. And in different roles.
In different
Showing
roles.
different-
In different roles.
Yeah,
And to Lee Daniels' credit, a lot of that has been because of Lee Daniels. Like, you know, she was on Empire for years. So that to me is the most pleasant surprise. Conversely, I've been frustrated and saddened, and I was frustrated and saddened today when I watched it. Monique is everything. She is absolutely everything in this film. And this should have been a career pivoting performance. Like, this should have been her. What was it when Frank Sinatra was in The Man with the Golden Gun?
Golden Arm.
With the golden, like, this should have been her Frank Sinatra in The Man with the Golden Arm moment, where her entire career shifted.
Yeah.
And then people knew her as a serious actress.
Or Oprah Winfrey in Color Purple.
Well, or Oprah Winfrey in The Color Purple. But I'm thinking about somebody who was famous and, you know, like right, like Oprah wasn't an actress, like Oprah, but then she was in The Color Purple. Like, Monique was a very well-renowned comedian. And then you get this remarkable, terrorizing, surprisingly complicated character. I was saying today, Monique has a monologue at the end that is one of the best monologues in the past few decades that an actress does. And for, you know, whatever personal reasons between her and Lee Daniels and this one and that one, it just didn't lead to the 10 years of performance that I wanted. I think it is an important story.
Oh, most certainly.
You know, I think this is an important story. I was thinking today, I don't know if this was sparked because of Precious or just the social landscape has changed since 2009. I think as a culture, we are more aware of the physical and sexual and psychological abuse that a lot of children and a lot of our children have to deal with, that Precious spotlights.
Yes.
So everything about the quality of this film, I don't think is up for debate. I think what it really comes down to for me with this film, however, is an ongoing conversation that we've had about the purpose of art.
Okay.
And our relationship to it. I think quality is just one part of the conversation. I think when we talk about this art and we name checked a couple of examples as we're talking, whether we're talking about Ava DuVernay's When They See Us, whether we're talking about Amistad, where you know, whether we're talking about 12 Years a Slave, I do think that as viewers and patrons, part of the conversation has to be, does this enhance my life?
Okay.
Is this an experience? Is this an experience that the pain justified, or rather the aesthetic pleasure, the artistic experience, does it justify the psychological torment that I have to go through to deal with this? And something like 12 Years a Slave, something like When They See Us, I think the argument is pretty straightforward. If you don't know anything about Solomon Northup and him being enslaved, 12 Years a Slave is fantastic, just because we need to know that. We need to honor what has happened to our ancestors. Many of us knew sort of a sketch of what happened with the Central Park Five. But the vast majority of us, if we know about the details, if we know about the depth of the crime that was committed against these young men, we found out from this miniseries.
Right.
You and I talked about Rosewood a few months ago, and Rosewood is something that people didn't know about, or Black Wall Street. So I think those are kind of straightforward, that you can justify, like you need to watch it just because this has a tangible sort of gain that we get just learning about this stuff. And while I think this is an important story, as we've mentioned, this is based on a novel. And I hate to be that guy. Like, I hate that guy. But I think the book tells this story more artfully in a way that honors the story. Like, as you mentioned, Precious is functionally illiterate. Like, she's illiterate. She can neither read nor write.
Right.
And there's a big part of this film that talks about her journey into literacy. But because it's a film, you don't actually get to see it that. Like, they have this, they have, you know, there's this wonderful moment at the beginning where they show the credits.
Yeah, the
and
credits.
It's sort of phonetically shown the way that Precious writes, and but we don't get to actually, because it's a film, and the book does that so well, because the whole book, you know, we were talking before we started, it's an epistolary. It's a book in the form of letters,
right?
So that she starts out writing, and it's very simplistic and it's very difficult to read, but as she journeys through the story, her writing becomes more legible, and she's able to express herself more, so that it to me, it's a much more intimate relationship with this woman and with this story, that, as good as this film is, it doesn't capture that. So that what I land on is that I 100% agree with any artistic critique of this film that celebrates the achievement. Again, I think this is a film, you know, I'm not going to say this is the best thing that Lenny Kravitz is in, because I really like Lenny Kravitz as an actor. Like, Lenny Kravitz, apparently Lenny Kravitz can just do anything.
I know, it's annoying.
I know, but you know, Lenny Kravitz is fantastic. Mariah Carey should act more.
Yeah.
And it's a testament to Lee Daniels
as a director,
that he pulled these performances out of these actors. Paula Patton. I don't know if Paula Patton just doesn't get the scripts, because, you know, Paula Patton is basically always cast as the pretty girl, but she's amazing in this.
She is.
But I just can't get over the hump, and maybe it's just, you know, where we are right now, like, you know, just kind of post just the pandemic and Black Lives Matter and George Floyd and just everything. I can't get over the hump to recommend this.
Really?
Like, I can't get over the hump to tell people I think you should watch this.
Oh man. See, I think that this is a story that everybody should watch, because first of all, one of the things that I noted, and I was heartened to see that a few people critics had noted, that it's rare that you see a film where that is led by not one but two plus size Black women.
Yeah.
You don't often see that.
No, you don't.
And an argument can be made that as much as you're rooting for Precious, an argument can be made that both of these women are hard to 100% root for. Right? Certainly you're not rooting for, you know, Monique's character. But Precious character sometimes is a little off-putting. She's a little, quick to draw with her temper a little bit.
Yeah,
as well,
absolutely.
But I appreciated her being quick to draw. I hear you on the whole, the book being able to show the journey into literacy a little bit more artfully, because it's in a literary form,
right?
So it only stands to reason that it's going to play it out better. But I still found the transition to film still works, because from the beginning of the movie, Precious, especially as she escapes into her fantasy world and everything like that, has the soul of a poet.
Mm-hmm.
She has the thoughts and the words to convey all of her thoughts, all of her feelings. She just doesn't have the weaponry. Right. And as you learn that she doesn't have the weaponry, that she cannot write, that she cannot read, it becomes all that more frustrating, because now you understand why she also has the anger that she does, So I thought that it was still very, very well put and well portrayed. Is it maybe easier to see, or maybe, like I said, more artfully done in the book? I can understand that, but the book came out in 1996. This comes out in 2009.
Yeah.
You're talking about a nice little stretch.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt.
And while the movie does bring prominence back to the book, as a matter of fact, they then reissue the book under the title Precious,
and I know that's right.
The novel and the push. People are going to, people are going to see the movie more. You're right. It's just the nature of the beast. And I think that the movie still handles that well. And I think that it's worth recommending, because it is a film that does show the complexities of both of these characters. You talked about Monique's monologue at the end of the movie, which is really the only other time that you get the other side of her character,
right?
Because she's scaringly one note the whole time.
Well, there are a couple of moments where she's like, there's a moment where she's dancing in the mirror.
Okay, well, yeah,
where you can tell
there's something else.
There's something else
there. But what again, that makes you wonder. Okay, so where's the anger coming from? And then you see it at the end.
Yeah.
And you're made to understand where the anger is coming from. You don't side with her.
No, not at all.
Stretch at all.
Not at all. But I think, and here's something else that I think the film alludes to, but they kind of, you can deal with it more in a book. Like, I think that whole bit of her trying to overfeed Precious, I think there's that moment where Precious is standing at the top of the steps, and that's just where she's standing. But then Monique goes into this whole thing of basically saying, you think you're better than me,
you're looking down
on me. Lets you know that Monique's character has her own insecurities and her own things. It's a split second. But I love the fact that the film lets you know that Monique's mother, Precious's grandmother, is also a terrible person.
Yes.
So that you see that this is a cycle of abuse that has happened.
And I love that, like you said, it is a split second, because when you're introduced to the grandmother, you're led to believe that maybe she's the saving grace here, because she's the one that's taking care of Precious's first daughter, who has Down syndrome, and so you're left to believe, like, oh, okay, maybe she's the saving grace, she's whatever. But then in another scene, you see like, no, she's the origin of what Monique's character is,
right.
you know, and like a lot of daughters, she just doubled down on what her mother was.
Look, something that has happened since this film came out. I've watched probably way more Ayanna Van Zandt fix my life than I probably should have.
Oh, God.
I mean, it is, and it is. It's oh God, and you know, you kind of watch it, and you know, unfortunately, these people's lives are put there for entertainment and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing you do pick up, and I, you know, all jokes aside, you kind of roll your eyes in Ayanna Van Zandt, but I give Ayanna Van Zandt credit. She always points out that these are all generational curses, basically. Right. Like you just keep going back. You know, my best friend Cliff said something when we were in college. So I'm sure we had been drinking and it was probably some chicken bone somewhere. But he said, you know, one of the problems we have as Black people, we never got therapy after slavery.
That's right.
Like we never got therapy.
Nope.
So that just kept going. Like it's just generation after generation. You have this dysfunction. You have this pain.
Mm-hmm.
You have all of this, and it just keeps going. And I guess there was enough of that there that even before her monologue at the end, I knew there was more going on.
Oh, yeah.
With Monique's character than just she's this monster, which once again, and let me be clear, I absolutely celebrate the quality of this film. Once again, this is a testament to Lee Daniels' direction. This is a testament to George Fletcher's screenplay, which also won an Oscar for adapted screenplay.
Yeah. Jeffrey Fletcher.
I'm sorry, Jeffrey Fletcher's screenplay. And Monique's performance that for someone that very easily could have been one note.
Right.
You do have these shades underneath it. Also wanted to say, I think you're absolutely right to celebrate this film because of the two leads, you know, these two plus size leads. Monique was actually in another movie from, I just had it, I think 2006.
Fat Girls?
Fat Girls.
Okay.
Did you ever see Fat Girls?
No.
I know you didn't. You know why? Because nobody actually watched Fat Girls. Because it's a dumbass title. It was Monique before this.
Yeah.
And everyone just sort of dismissed it and this, that, and the other. Fat Girls is a surprisingly solid film.
Really?
I know.
Because I started to select it for
you know what?
Mother May I.
You can't. I
didn't.
It is one of my little passions.
Really?
That I recommend Fat Girls to people.
Fat Girls and Babs.
It is better than Babs.
Wow.
Like there's actually, you know, again, look, it's Monique. It's in comedy mode. It's Fat Girls, PHATGIRLZ. But there's a surprising amount of nuance in it.
Okay.
That I was not as surprised by Monique.
Okay, because
in this, because I remember, and let's be clear, I caught Fat Girls on a real humble, like it was on, and I watched like 10 minutes of it, and then like I watched 20 minutes of it, and then like I sat up and watched it, and then like I watched it again, and then I've had a version of this conversation since 2006, where I'm like, you know what is surprisingly good? Fat Girls.
Okay,
so.
All right.
So yeah, look, I don't. Yeah,
I can't go. I'm telling you, I cannot go on too much about this movie. I cried 3 times watching this movie.
It's a harrowing experience. Like it really. I mean, you do have to acknowledge that. Like this, I hear you over there. It's good, and people should watch it more than once, but this is a tough movie.
See, but you know what? As tough as it is, I still find that there are so. I find enough light in this movie that I don't feel it is as unrelenting as a lot of people think. Like there's a scene where Precious is at her teacher's home.
Yes.
And we're trying not to give some plot points away, but she finds herself at the teacher's home, and the teacher is there with her partner. And they're talking back and forth, and Precious says they talk like channels that I don't get.
It's a good, yeah.
I said, that is a great fucking line.
Yeah.
I love that line.
It's a great script.
It's a great script.
You were talking about the girls in the classroom, and much like you.
Oh my God.
I could watch an entire film.
I'm Joanne. My favorite color is fluorescent
beige. Fluorescent beige. I wrote that down. I said Joanne is the best. I put this classroom up, just what we've talked about. The kids in Bright Road. The kids into Sir with Love.
Yeah.
Like, this is a great class.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I will grant you, I don't think it is relentless. Like, I do think they try to break between the fantasy sequences and the classroom scenes. But even with it, it's a tough film.
You know what?
Like, it's a tough film.
It's a tough film, but it's you know why it's tough? Because it makes you feel it.
I hear you.
And that's a testament to how good the movie is.
Look, again,
I love this film.
I actually agree with you.
So I would recommend.
Okay, so you would recommend.
I would recommend that people watch this film. If you've watched it only once, I would recommend that you watch it again. Joan Blaylock, you've never seen it. You have to see this film. Gather your family together. You've got to. I know you've got a big family. Gather your family together. So they can support you. Watch this movie. Nadira Crump, you only watched the movie once. I'm telling you, I think you should watch it again. If you have not watched this film since it first came out, I think you should watch it again. And because I especially coming out of Me Too and everything like that, and I think we're in a different world, a different headspace in regards to Black people and mental illness and self-care and
absolutely
and things of that nature. I think you can watch this film with through a different lens now, and I really think that you come out on a different end with it.
Oh, damn, you may have changed my mind with that last sentence. There are so few films that you recommend and I don't recommend. I'm still not recommending it. I still think, I don't know if the pros are worth what this can do to your piece. I really don't.
I think this film.
Now, I strongly recommend everyone read the book. It's only 100. It's a short book. Like, it's a short book. It's 140 pages. I think the artistry is on another level with the way they lay it out. Just to nerd it up for a second, you and I were talking. It's like Flowers for Algernon, where you see her literacy kind of build, but ironically, it's not as depressing as Flowers for Algernon because he loses his ability, and then it starts going back down,
right?
So it's just heartbreaking at the end. But while I don't recommend it, I very much celebrate the achievement that this film is. I know recently, whatever happened between Monique and Lee Daniels, it seems like they've resolved it.
Yeah. We're not really touching on that.
And again, the only reason I touched on it is because after this film, I was really looking forward
to more
dramatic work from Monique. So I'm hoping whatever has happened with she and Lee Daniels and they've kind of resolved it, I hope that leads to more serious work from her because she is phenomenal. in this film.
She is
Absolutely phenomenal.
She is.
So
very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's where we are with Precious from Vincent and I. But please feel free. Let us know what you thought of the movie. Let us know what you thought of our review. Hit us up. You can email us at mishowmission@gmail.com, MICHEAUXMISSION. Feel free to also leave us a voicemail, 215-867-9666. That's 215-867-9666. Operators are standing by to take your call on the Me Show voicemail. Tell us what you thought of Precious and the show. Tell us what's on your mind. The Me Show Mission, 2 men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. Go to mishowmission.com, hit swag, and check out all the cool designs and gifts that we have available to you by way of our friends at TeePublic, including our 6 Degrees of Derville Martin collection. You can follow the Me Show Mission on all your favorite social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at Me Show Mission. Or even more importantly, subscribe to the Me Show Mission on YouTube and Twitch at Me Show Mission, and subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, whether it be on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. Subscribe to the show. Please give us a 5-star rating and a review, because that helps people find the show, which is called the Me Show Mission, a proud member of the Podglomerate Podcast Network. They make podcasts work. All right, next week on the Me Show Mission, it is the penultimate episode. Episode 299.
299
of the Me Show Mission, and we go to the year of 1993.
Yes, sir.
For a independent film that has truly developed into a cult classic.
Mm-hmm.
It's the film of a model on a photo shoot in Ghana who encounters an old mystic that transports her into the past, where she becomes a slave in the 1993 drama that is called Sankofa.
Holly Garima.
Sankofa.
I cannot believe.
Available, streaming right now on Netflix.
Isn't we talked about it when it happened.
And it happened. Thanks to the
it's like the Ark of the Covenant
Mm-hmm.
is sitting on the shelf at Target.
That's right.
Like, I cannot believe this is on Netflix.
That's right. Thanks to Ava DuVernay for
Hey,
getting it there.
hey.
Sankofa next week here on the Me Show Mission in episode 299. We are the end of the road is in sight.
Yes, sir.
The road's at 300. All right. Shout out to our social media manager, Toya Haynes.
Hey, Toya.
Much love to our co-producer, Maurice Poplar.
What's up, Mo?
Our theme music is by the lovely Alexa Gold.
Hey, Alexa.
Check her out on Instagram, Alexa Gold Music. And that guy's Vince. I'm Len. And in parting, we say...